Hello friends, this is Carrie Ann with Salty and Bright, and today we will continue the series, Healing the Broken Heart. Last time we spoke about how physical pain manifests and it tells us that something is wrong and that we need to get healing. And God wants to heal our broken hearts. Today, we're going to look at one biblical example of somebody who was hurt and how God turned it around. But before I get into the topic, I would love for you to click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and share and like this video. Today, we're going to talk about Joseph, and this is from Genesis 37. We're not going to go through the chapter, but I will give you a synopsis of the story. Joseph was the youngest of his brothers at this particular time in the story, and his brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery. That's really, really horrible when you think about it. And it would have been really bad if strangers did this to him. But these are his brothers, his family. And the thought of never seeing his father or his mother again would have been devastated. That is really bad and really heartbreaking. But God was with Joseph. Joseph was sold to Potiphar. And Joseph did so well that Potiphar gave Joseph the run of the house, pretty much. He was in charge of a lot of things in Potiphar's house. When things started looking good, Joseph was falsely accused and thrown into prison. To make a sad story sadder. Well, the prison warden gave Joseph the run of the prison. And so he was in charge of the prisoners, he was in charge of all of the activities, and so anything that they did in the prison, Joseph was in charge of that. And the prison warden didn't even check up on him. That's remarkable, that's incredible. A prisoner in charge of prisoners, that can only be God. But like I said, God was with Joseph. God also allowed Joseph to rise to power. He had the gift of interpreting dreams, and the Pharaoh had a very disturbing dream. Joseph interpreted the dream, and Joseph was able to help the Pharaoh save his people. And in doing so, he also saved the people of Israel. He rose to power. He was the second in command, so we could say maybe like the prime minister of Egypt at this point. And he was able to save the people of Israel, in addition to the people of Egypt. He was able to make up with his brothers, and he was able to see his father again. And so God turned that whole situation around. Joseph came to the realization that God actually sent him ahead of his brothers to help them. When we go through painful experiences, sometimes it's hard to see how it could turn out for our good. Sometimes it's hard to see how it plays into the larger story. But God has a way of turning our stories around. Romans chapter 8, verse 28 states, "And we know that all things work together for the good of them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose." So the question is, do you love God? Are you called according to his purpose? Do you have a relationship with him? I would encourage you to decide and to choose Jesus today. Back in the Garden of Eden, sin entered the world and we were separated from God. But God, through Jesus, devised a way to save us and to redeem us back to him. So I encourage you to choose Jesus today, to cast your hurts on him because he cares for you. In our next video, we will continue another biblical example of someone with a broken heart and how God helped them. But before I go, if you haven't already done so, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, share and like this video. Thanks, friends.